Okay, before I tell you what the most medicinal part of the elder is, let me talk to you for a minute. We as people tend to, when you hear something long enough, you tend to believe it. Now, that's true for a lot of things. That's true for politics. That's one of the main things on the left, I think, is just to keep pushing things through their mockingbird media. Um, and if you hear it long enough, then you believe it. But it's true in everyday life in a lot of ways, even in the herbal field. Um, One of the first herbs that I learned about was elderberry, and actually it wasn't from a certified herbalist. I don't think any of them were certified. It was a woman who had been studying on her own. I don't know how much study she had, but she knew about some herbs and she wanted to learn more. And several people, it was up in the mountains up here, and several gathered for the class. She'd passed out flyers at a local festival, and then several of us came, and it was really fun. I learned a lot, and it was really, really fun, and I'd love to do it again. But the thing of it is, one of the herbs that we studied was elderberry, or we talked about it. I guess we didn't, that wasn't one of the ones we studied in depth, but it was brought up, and we talked about it. And nobody mentioned what I'm getting ready to reveal to you. They only talked about mainly the berries, and somewhere along the way I learned about the flowers. Now, the flowers are medicinal. You don't want to just get rid of the flowers. It's good if you have the plant, save some of the flowers, dry them and save the berries, some berries, because they're both good, and the flowers are especially good for children because they work much gentler. So, but children love the berries too, especially the syrup. And if they're really sick, sometimes that's about the only medicine they'll take for you because the elderberry syrup tastes so good. Even us adults like that. But there's still something more powerful than the berries and the flowers. Well, the other day I was taking a class. This guy, Dr. Patrick Jones, is great. I trust him. He's a certified herbalist and a veterinarian, and he uses herbs in both. And he has classes and stuff, and sometimes his older classes that he did maybe a few years back, he'll put online for free. Those are the ones I have to wait for. I've taken very few classes where I really paid money. I have taken some that I paid for. One out of an herbalist college, and then some others that I've paid for and taken. But I took this one online. I was watching it. And he talked about the part of the elder that's more medicinal than the berries and the flowers. So that's what I wanted to share with you, is this little tidbit about what I learned. And it really works. And I'll tell you why I know that. But I really trust, like I said, I really trust him, and I thank him for making that information available because it really helped my family. A couple in my family have been very sick. So let me take you over, and I'm going to show you what the most medicinal part of the plant is. Okay, here we are. We're at one of my little elder trees. The most medicinal part of the plant is the leaves. Oh yeah. Now I've heard that they were poisonous, and I'm not a doctor, but Dr. Jones said that there's a lot of this stuff that's in these leaves is also in a lot of the fruits we eat. So personally, I wouldn't eat a whole lot of them. They're strictly medicine. It's just like you don't want to overtake medicine of any sort. So, but the leaves do work. I have some family that's been very sick, and I sent them some leaves of this, and I sent them some of my hyssop, which I've just recently harvested. That's probably the only flowers left because I harvested all the flowers and a great deal of leaves. Hyssop's good too. But back to the elder flowers. Yes, they're great. I sent some of those over to my family that's been sick. She made a lot of tea, started drinking it that night, and the next day she called me and said, I'm feeling better. I have some energy for the first time, and she's doing she's doing well now. So it really, really helped. And I'm thankful for the information. And I couldn't wait to share it with you because on all these different videos that I watch, and I watch a lot of different videos when I have time, I've never heard anybody mention this until I took this class from Dr. Patrick. And yes, the elderlies. But like I said, I'm not a doctor. You do your own research. It works. I can tell you that. And if I get sick again, I definitely will try to go scarf up some leaves. The bad thing is you can save the berries and the flowers, dry them, and keep them for winter because most of us usually get sick in the winter, but not always. The leaves, I sent them over fresh and they worked. I guess I could take some leaves and dry them, and I think I'm going to try that. I didn't hear anything from Dr. Jones about that, but I am going to harvest some of my leaves and dry them. I don't know if they're going to be as potent when they're dried, but I'm going to give it a try and we'll see what happens. So, yeah, I wanted to share that little tidbit with you, and just something to be aware of. If you have a chance to grow a plant, I would certainly grow one. With all the high heat that we've been having, my plants they're really struggling. I give them a lot of water, but this one in the ground's doing better than my other two in the pots. They're really it's hard to keep them cool enough and wet enough. Elder really like a lot of moisture. So I try to keep that pretty moist down there. It's pretty moist just standing on it. So anyway, so much for the elder, and I think most of you know how medicinal the elder is and how great it is for colds and flus, and how that it stops the replication of the virus in the cells. Because the virus can't replicate on its own, it has to have a host cell. So to replicate, and it actually uses your own cells to replicate itself. So a lot of viruses are known as replicators because they replicate themselves. And the elder helps to stop that. So it will slow it down and stop it and cut your sickness down, the time down quite a bit. Anyway, so much for all of that. Please give me a thumbs up and share on your social media. Subscribe if you haven't. It's free and it really helps my channel out. It lets YouTube know, hey, she might be worthy of listening to. And I hope I am. I'm really trying to share with you things that I learned. So God bless. Y'all take care. Love ya. Bye.